Now this video is a little bit long, guys, but it gives a very good description of this device, and there is some very good day and nighttime footage to come at the end, and also be a little bit aware there is a bit of vermin control with a few rabbits shot at the very end of this video. Thanks very much and have a good look. So I left this bit of footage with the volume on so you can see this flag is about 45 yards away. Hear what the recording's like. The wind was blowing right into the microphone at the angle I was shooting at, and all night long I had this almost sort of going. So I'll cut the sound off for a lot more of it. Now this tree was about 55 to 60 yards away, a good 60 yards away if I remember rightly, so you can get a good idea about the sort of the footage that you can get and how well this IR works, and you'll see that a bit later as well. That path is about 50 yards, and then it goes up a bank and you can see all the brambles in the trees, and when it goes in and out of focus, that's me playing around with the scope focus, just trying to get a good image. So apologies for the reticle not being straight and the image not quite dead center, because like I said, I was quite excited. Put the collar on the back of the scope, everything when you're looking through the scope itself, everything looks absolutely perfect. Like I say, really good. So make sure you do a few recordings and get yourself set up absolutely perfect and ready to go. Now this little building or shed is a good 200 yards away, and I was quite amazed how well the IR was working on it. That reflective thing you can see there, that's a life buoy, because it's next to one of the sort of ponds or lakes, if you want to call it that. But to be at least, it's a good 200 yards away, and to be able to see that well with that tiny little IR, I was really, really impressed with it. And you'll see as I go on, there's quite a few more things that I focus on, etc. here. Now this bench, I say, is about 25 yards away, and at that distance this device works really, really well. You can see how good the image is on there. You can see all the detail of that bench. So if you're shooting anything at that sort of close, it's a really, really good image. And the flashing that you see where it going dark, that's my hand getting in front of the AR light when I'm adjusting the zoom on my scope. Nothing to do with the device at all. Now this tree here, again, it's quite somewhere away. It's a good 100, 120, probably, well, a lot more than 100 yards away, 125, 150 yards away, and I couldn't actually believe how well it lit that old dead tree up. Really good image for being a good 100 yards further away from where I was, as you can sort of see from the footage there. Now I'm just panning around trying to focus on a few things to see what I can pick up and what the sort of distances I know that they all are, because I'm very familiar with the sort of surroundings at where I'm sat. And I've gone back to that tree because I think it's amazing that this little device picks that up so well. So I pan it right the way around, about 90 degrees over to the pond, tiny little lake if you want to call it that, and you'll see how well it works again here as I lift it up now and sort of focus on the edge. So at its closest point, around about along here, I'd say that's about 50 yards away, maybe as close as 45. and you can see that image really well. Anything you wanted to shoot there would be fine. And you can see I just pick up on a little bit of eye shine there, and I'm thinking, what is that? I'm thinking if it's a rat I could take a shot at that. So you'll see me zoom in on this one here, because I do try and see if I can identify what it is. And you'll see what I mean by a little bit of tunnel vision comes in, because this is a 5-25 scope. I don't know what I've actually zoomed it into, because there is a certain amount of image that's zoomed built into the device itself. But you can see how well you can see those bits and pieces there, and I'm not sure if I've got it perfectly focused. I can just pick up that bit of eye shine now and again, but I don't get to see what it is. So I pan up further across there, and there's a small pathway and a little bank there, and that tree line is plus 100 yards. The further I go to the left, the closer it gets to me, but at the closest point it's about 90 yards, and it's directly across from me. I've left the sound back on this bit because I've turned a different direction, and you can hear the recording and the wind blowing. Now this is the IR different settings. That's on the lowest setting, and you'll see me flick through the different settings here, and I'd say that tree is a bit over 100 yards away, probably 110 yards I'm estimating from where I'm sat. And that tiny little IR torque is incredible. It seems to be tuned to this camera on this device really well, and you'll see that a little bit later on. So I'll leave you as I'm sort of panning up and down this walkway, this path it's on. Like I say, that's about 100 yards away. It's incredible how good this little device works. Going right the way up the path. So we're getting on for about 180 yards, I would reckon, by the time I'm up here, definitely. So I decided to have a bit of a look at this tree, because I can't believe I can see it at about 180-200 yards possibly away. Now I've cut the sound again because it got really bad, but just take a look at how well this camera copes with the night vision. So that tree is a good, I don't know, 100 yards away or something like that, and then the bushes below are probably about 40 yards away, right up close, and when you go down it glares at you, but see how the camera reacts. I'm not adjusting anything there. Back up to the tree, and the white, it's the auto white balance or whatever it is. I don't know about cameras, but just I kept going up and down because I couldn't believe how well the camera reacted. I didn't have to lower the IR intensity. Look, on the tree, white's out, but then the camera reacts and you can see exactly what you're looking at really quickly. Really impressed with that. And just look how well you can see. Like I say, that's a good 125, 150 yards away, way on up the golf course. You can see how windy it is by the trees blowing around there. It was a terrible night. Not the best night to be out filming. Now later on I am going to put a couple of shots of a couple of kills in it, so there are a bit of vermin control as well. Again, I picked up a bit of shine there, just going around, so I thought, oh, what's that? And I'll zoom my scope in. So this is all the zooming is done with my scope and not using the digital zoom of the device itself. So focus it in and decide it's just something reflective. It's not eye shine. So leave that one alone. So this is my first shot of the day. My thermal picked this one up way up at the back of the bank in the undergrowth here, and I get the rifle on him. Remember, it's absolutely blowing a gale, so I'm wobbling around a little bit here. But the first shot I take, I've got my big thick gloves on because it's so windy and cold, and I didn't realise the trigger pull on it. So it's a bit of a miss shot, the first one, and it needs a quick follow up. There you go. And it's all over for that rabbit. But up the side of that bank, that's a good 65 yards away. A good 65, could even be 70 yards away. Right the other side of the T where that flag was. Right the way up the bank. So there's 2 more shots on rabbits coming up here. I've cut the sound off because of the blowing of the wind again, but I'll put the sound back on just so I take the shot so you can hear the shot going. But these 2 rabbits, they're about 85 yards away. The path in the background there is about 100 yards, 95 yards away. Then it goes up a bank at the back of that, which takes it to about 105, 110 yards. So certainly that path is a good 90 to 100 yards away at the background. And I'm estimating they're about 80 yards, these rabbits. So I line up on them and get ready for the shot.